With winter on the horizon, I'm reminded of the story of the Indian chief who was asked by his tribe if the upcoming winter would be harsh. Yes, he replied, collect as much firewood as you can. The next day, the chief called the weather service just to be sure. Yes, he was told, it will be a harsh winter. How do you know, asked the chief, to which the meteorologist replied, because the Indians are busy gathering firewood. Indeed, many folklores try to predict the upcoming winter, often based in the natural world. A common one in the Northeast is based on woolly bear caterpillars, which are black at both ends and reddish-brown in the middle. According to folklore, long black segments on the woolly bears mean the winter will be severe. Well, it turns out that some of the year-to-year variation in the amount of black is weather-related, but to the past, not the future. Typically, a wet summer means a good growing season and longer black segments simply because the caterpillars ate more and got bigger. Other natural signs that supposedly foretell a severe winter include squirrels gathering nuts in a hurry, beavers building unusually big houses, thicker than normal hair on horses, unusually high anthills, and corn husks that are thick and tight. Indeed, much of the natural world does react in fairly predictable ways to past weather. The problem is, in most cases, there are few consistent rules that relate past weather to that of the future. Having said that, forecasters at the Climate Prediction Center, the seasonal forecasting arm of the National Weather Service, do consider the past in making their long-range outlook. For example, a method called canonical correlation analysis tries to construct future patterns of temperature and precipitation based on global patterns of ocean temperature, pressure, surface temperature, and precipitation over the last 12 months. CPC also looks at persistent seasonal anomalies over the last 10 to 15 years. So, for example, if 8 of the last 10 winters were warmer than average, that would be considered. They also search a lengthy database for past years that had patterns of jet stream winds, surface pressure, ocean temperature, and soil moisture that resemble the current pattern in hopes of finding an analog. That's basically what we do in our long shots feature. CPC also takes into account whether an El Nino or La Nina is expected, because those tropical anomalies sometimes impact the mid-latitudes. And yes, CPC forecasters look at computer models that are run out to 9 months, multiple times with slightly different starting conditions, then averaged and their known biases removed. And new methods are always being tested. Currently in vogue is using anomalies in October snow cover in Asia as a predictor of the upcoming winter, a method popularized by Dr. Judah Cohen, who was on Weather World back in January. His winter forecast comes out early next month. But you only have to wait a few seconds for Paul Knight's extended forecast that takes us into next week.